Hey everybody, welcome back to homerecordingmadeeasy.com, learningtomix.com, and here on my YouTube channel. And this time out, we're going to take another look at the new Fat Channel XT by Presonus, part of Studio One. Is a stock plugin, the Fat Channel. We've been looking at all the different analog style plugin emulations in the last few videos. Go back to my YouTube channel and check out the last 4 or 5 videos where I checked out some different compressors and such. This time we're going to take a look at the FET compressor, or what looks like to be the 1176 compressor by Presonus. Again, part of the Fat Channel XT. We're going to listen to it on a guitar, we're going to listen to it on a vocal and on a Rhodes piano, and we're going to compare it to its universal audio counterpart and its wave counterpart to see what the differences are. So before we get to that, if you like what you see in this video, please hit that subscribe button below. It helps me out tremendously. Also go out to facebook.com/homerecordingmadeeasy and follow me there. And for more tips, tricks, concepts, and training around all aspects of home recording, be sure to go back to homerecordingmadeeasy.com and check out all the free content I have there. Sign up for my VIP email list and you will get 5 free training products delivered directly to your inbox. And last but certainly not least, if you want to dive down deep into the craft of learning how to get better at audio mixing, whether you're a beginner or an advanced or anywhere in between user, head on over to learningtomix.com. Check out what I have going on with my good buddy and colleague Pete Woj over at mixbetternow.com. We've created an awesome membership training site for all levels of audio engineer and home recording musicians called learningtomix.com. So now let's head on over into Studio One and let's take a look at this 1176 or FET compressor by Presonus. So we're listening to it right now. We're going to listen to it on a clean kind of an electric guitar here in a second, and on vocals and on a Rhodes piano. So let's walk through the controls quickly. Now, if you've never used an 1176 compressor, an 1176 compressor is probably one of the more in the top 2 or 3 most popular hardware compressors ever invented. And if you listen to any kind of modern music from the early 60s all the way through probably last week, you've heard popular music, you've heard an 1176 all over your favorite records on all sorts of instrumentation, vocals, guitars, drums, snares, blah, 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 blah. It's an awesome musical compressor, has a nice warm sound to it, and it just tends to not only compress and even things out and give a nice, more consistent, even performance, but it adds a nice color and tone to your audio as well. So let's walk through the controls here and then we'll take a listen to it. So on the left-hand side here, we have our input and our output. The more you push the input, the more signal you drive into the compressor. It has a fixed threshold, means more signals going over the threshold, hence you're going to have more compression. The output is going to go ahead and either turn up the makeup gain volume or turn down the makeup gain volume depending on how you set the input. We have our attack and release time here. You can see our attack time from 8 milliseconds to 0.2 milliseconds. And we have our release from 1.1 second to 50 milliseconds. So all the way to the right on the attack and the release, clockwise is going to be a fast attack, fast release. All the way to the left is going to be a slow attack, slow release. In the center here, we have these buttons here, 4-to-1, 8-to-1, 12-to-1, 20-to-1. Those are our ratios. And on the Presonus unit, if you hit the all button here, that is kind of the what they call the all buttons mode, where on the hardware unit, you'd press all the buttons in at the same time. It's kind of a secret weapon and something that's unique to the 1176. Where it gives you a really nice over-compressed type of a vibe. We were going to keep it on 4-to-1 for this example. Next to the ratio, we have the VU meter here. And then over on the right-hand side, which is unique to this plugin, which is not part of the hardware or part of the waves unit we're going to look at, or the UA unit we're going to look at. So we're not going to use this, but this is called the key filter, where you can actually dial up and you can listen how it compresses certain frequencies, which could be useful, but we're not going to use that because it's not comparing apples to apples. Okay, so again, this is part of the Fat Channel XT. Right now I have this on a clean electric guitar. You can hear it's in bypass mode. And let's just kind of play back this guitar here. We have drum, bass, and then this kind of clean guitar, so you can kind of hear what's going on here. Okay, so we got a nice clean kind of a stratty kind of a electric guitar, a lot of strumming happening there. On the one, you're going to hear that transient kind of poke through a little bit. So let's see how we have this set and then we'll turn it on. So right now, I'm pushing the input about 12 o'clock straight up the middle, and the output I'm turning up so I level match the plugin, which I'll demonstrate. Right now I'm using a fast attack and pretty much an almost fast, all the way fast release. I want to catch that transient on the attack. I want to catch it so it doesn't poke out of the mix too much. 4-to-1 ratio. We're probably getting around 7 dB of compression or so. Here's what we get. That's before. After. It's before. After. Okay, so I don't know what you're hearing over there in YouTube land and how YouTube is going to compress this audio a little bit, but what I hear here is I hear the upper mid-range gets a little bit more open. Okay, it gets a little bit more clarity, and you can feel that it just tends to get a little bit more squished. Not overly squished, but squished where when he's strumming those chords, it's not poking through too much. It's kind of sitting a little more evenly. So again, if you keep your eye on the top left-hand part of this plugin here, when I turn this button amber, that's bypass, and then this would be enabled. So you can keep your eye on, so you can see why I'm turning it on and when I'm turning it on and off. So let's start with it off again, then I'll bring it in. Okay, so it's definitely has a tonal difference, but it's somewhat subtle. It's not so obvious. Now we're using a pretty fast attack here. Now if I back off the attack a little bit, let's listen to what kind of happens. So you instantly hear it get louder as I back off the attack. Why? Because the compressor is not clamping down on the audio too quickly. It's letting that initial transient through, which is giving you more volume. So what I would end up doing there is then backing off the output volume a little bit. Oop, don't want to blast you out there. Okay, so we're only achieving about 5 dB of compression there as opposed to 7 to 10 dB. Sorry, I blasted you out there for a second. But as you back off the attack, you want to back off the output volume so you can kind of level match the plugin. But I think it sounds a little bit better when you get the attack kind of all the way up there. And we'll turn this back up again. Okay, so that's the Presonus FET compressor. Now let's move over. We'll bypass this. Let's go over to the universal audio counterpart. This is the Universal 1176 LN. Okay, same settings. We have the 4-to-1 ratio button pushed in, and we have almost all the way fast release, completely fast attack. And here's what we get here. I'll start with it off, and I'll turn it back on. I'll turn it on as we're going through the audio here. Okay, so it still has that top end that kind of opens up, that upper mid-range a little bit, but it seems a little bit more soft. It doesn't seem like it has the same edge that the Presonus unit has. Not that the Presonus unit sounds bad or plugin sounds bad, but this has a little bit more of a warmer upper end. As it opens up, it doesn't sound so spiky to me, to my ears. Let's start with it off and we'll bring it back in again. It also seems to catch that front end transient a little bit more accurately, and it softens it up a little bit nicer to my ears. So now let's go over to, let's bypass this, and then lastly, let's take a look at the CLA 76 by Waves. Same settings. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so this one sounds a little different from the other two in that you don't get that open airiness as much, but it definitely softens that transient a little bit, like the Universal Audio without some of the more open upper mid-range. So it sounds a little bit warmer to me, this one. Again, they all are going to sound similar because they're all based on the 1176. Now also keep in mind, whenever you do a plug-in emulation of a piece of hardware, the physical hardware unit they did for the CLA 76 is going to be different than the physical hardware unit that you did for the UA, which is going to be different from the one they did for Presonus, right? So if you put 3 1176s on the table, 3 identical units made at the same exact time, they're all going to sound a little bit different from each other, okay? And that's assuming that the CLA 76, the Universal Audio one, and the model that the hardware they used for Presonus, that those particular hardware units could have been decades apart as far as when they were made. So what I'm trying to get at is they're all going to sound a little bit different from each other. They're not going to sound exactly the same, and they're all going to sound similar because they have that 1176 feel, okay? So now let's go ahead and let's compare the 3 to each other, shall we? So if we bring down the CLA 76 here, and we have the Universal Audio one here, we'll pin this, and then lastly we have the Fat Channel by Presonus. So let's see if we can get all these on the screen in a way that you can see them. Okay, so we're going to start with the top. We'll bypass the waves here. We'll start with the Presonus, and what I'll do is I'll just cycle through quickly so you can hear the difference. You know, again, they're going to be subtle, but so you can hear the difference. Here we go. So we're going to start with them all off to kind of give you a reference, and then I'll click it in about 1/3 of the way through, and I'll cycle through them. So this is with no compression at all. Okay, so which one sounds better? You decide. They all sound similar and they all sound great to my ears. So that is on an clean electric guitar. Let's do the same thing. We'll lower that guitar a little. Well, we'll take it all the way out. Let's just listen to some vocals here, a lead vocal with no guitar in there. Again, we will start with the Fat Channel here. And okay, on this one here, we're doing a 4-to-1 ratio. We're doing kind of a medium style attack, more medium fast release. And let's see what we have going on here. So I'll start with it off and then I'll bring it in so you can hear what it does here.
I would never let you go. I would never let you go. But this time I gotta go. I would never let you go, baby. I would never let you go.
It's before.
I would never let you go. I would never let you go. But this time I gotta go.
Okay, so what happens there, obviously when you use the compressor, we're doing about 7 to 10 dB of compression on the words like go to try to capture the G in go to kind of soften it without making it sound compressed. Here, it actually sounds like it's compressing it. It's not as transparent as I probably would like, but it also brings the vocal a little bit closer to the listener. That's ideal and typically what you're going to do. And it's going to warm up the vocal a little bit, which it does. Okay, so let's start at the beginning of the loop again, and we'll turn it on and off. And again, keep your eye on the bypass button up here. It's easier than me saying before, after, before, after. I want you to hear the audio. So we're going to start with it off, and then I will bring it in.
Never let you go. I would never let you go. But this time I gotta go. I would never let you go, baby.
You can hear on the word go, you can hear it compress. Okay, so you could say, well, you're compressing it a little too much. If we backed it off, can we soften that enough to where it sounds natural? Because that go really sticks out. So this will be interesting. Let's see if we can do that. So if I back up the loop a little bit and I turn back the attack to make it a little slower.
I would never let you go. But this time I gotta go. I would never let you go, baby.
So that go really sticks out. It's trying to get that happy medium.
This time I gotta go. I would never let you go, baby. I would never let you go. I would never let you go. I would never let you go. But this time
And just like on the guitar, you hear the upper mid-range open up a little bit. So it pulls a little bit closer to the listener. So that is the fat channel. So now let's bypass that. Let's do the same thing with the 1176 by Universal Audio. Again, same attack and release. Let's see what we have here. Again, we'll start with it off. Now let's listen for that when it comes up on that word go the third time. That go, let's see how this one does. Does it sound compressed? Let's see.
I would never let you go. I would never let you go. But this time I gotta go. I would never let you go, baby.
Much more natural on this one. You can see we're still getting about 10 dB of compression on that word go. We're going to back it up so you can hear it again. But on the Presonus plugin, you can hear it clamp down. You can hear it pump and breathe, which you may like, you might not like, depends on what you're going for. This, it's a little bit more natural. It clamps it down, but it doesn't squash it too much.
This time I gotta go. I would never let you go, baby. I would never let you go. I would never let you go. I would never let you go. But this time I gotta go.
Okay, so same kind of feel, opens up that upper mid-range a little bit. I feel like it compresses those peaks a little bit more naturally here, and it still has a warm sound to it, just like the Presonus unit does. So let's bypass this one, and let's go over to the CLA 76 by Waves. Again, same attack and release. Let's see what we have going on here. We'll start with it in bypass mode again. Let's listen for that section where that word go. Let's see how this one handles that real heavy transient.
Never let you go. I would never let you go. But this time I gotta go. I would never let you go, baby.
So now that time it sounds a little bit more like the Presonus plugin, that you can hear it clamp down. You can hear it pump a little bit. Again, just trying to get you to hear the differences between the two. That's not necessarily a bad thing or a good thing. It just is. Okay, so let's back off that attack a little bit like we did on the Presonus unit, and let's see if we can kind of control that without getting that pump.
Never let you go. I would never let you go. But this time I this time I gotta go. I would never let you go, baby. I would never let you go. I gotta go. I would never let you go, baby.
Again, doesn't handle that word as well as I would like, but let's just turn it on and off and see what we get. We'll keep it on. We'll cycle it on and off.
I would never let you go. I would never let you go. I would never let you go. But this time I gotta go.
So again, sounds nice and warm, opens up that upper mid-range a little bit, pushes that vocal a little bit more forward to the listener, which is what we want. This compressor in its hardware form sounds great on vocals. It's used famously on lots and lots of vocals. It's one of the main uses for this kind of compressor. It does a really good job. And so all three units again sound similar. Which one sounds better or worse? Well, that's for you to decide. Let's go ahead and let's compare all three again, shall we? So we have our Presonus unit, or our Waves unit here. Let's open up our UA unit, vocals, and then let's open up the fat channel. Okay, and we'll do the same thing as we did on that guitar. We will start with them all off, and then I will start with, I'll let it play about a third of the way through, then I'll cycle on the Presonus unit, turn it off, cycle on universal audio, so on and so forth. Keep your eye on the bypass light, shall you? And here we go.
I would never let you go. I would never let you go. But this time I gotta go. I would never let you go, baby. I would never let you go. I would never let you go. I would never let you go. But this time I gotta go.
So interestingly, when you compare all three, the Waves unit sounds like it has a little more air. It's a little bit more clarity on the top end compared to the other two. So it just goes to show you that depending on what instrumentation you put this on and what your mix sounds like and all that other stuff, you may choose one over the other. They all sound slightly different from each other. Let's cycle through that one more time. Again, we'll start with the Waves unit on, and then we'll just go from bottom to top.
I would never let you go. I would never let you go. But this time I gotta go. I would never let you go, baby. I would never let you go. I would never let you go. I would never let you go. But this time I gotta go.
Okay, and there it is on a lead vocal. You decide which one you like the best. I think they all sound really, really good. I think the Presonus has done a very respectable job in modeling the 1176. Now let's go ahead and let's bring up our Rhodes piano. And then we'll end this video here. Let's go ahead and start with this and see what we got. Again, we will start with the fat channel. And over here we're doing, again, probably a medium fast attack, almost a medium fast release. And let's see what we're doing for compression. A little more low end when you use the compressor here. Listen to the sustain of the notes. A little bit more sustainy with the compressor, as it should. But definitely some tonal differences here. Now let's go ahead and let's do the same thing with the UA. Let's bring that up. Here we go. And we'll start with it off and turn it on. Now let's try the the CLA 76. And let's see what we have going on there. Oh, and I failed to mention we are using an 8-to-1 ratio on all this, not a 4-to-1 ratio, but they're all the same. So here we go. CLA 76. Here we go. So on the CLA 76, what I hear is that it's a little bit more hyped sounding. That tends to happen with most of the Wave plugins and their analog plugin style, stuff, the CLA stuff, the Jack Joseph Puig stuff. When you compare it to the other manufacturers like UA, Presonus, they tend to have a little more color, a little bit more hype to them. Again, not saying it's a good thing or a bad thing, it just is. And so that's the CLA 76. Now, like once again, we will compare the three. And we'll go to the fat channel. And here we go. So we'll start with the fat channel, and we will move down the route. We'll start with it off, and then we will move it around. Let it loop around again. We'll start with the waves. And there we go. And there is the combination between the three, or the rotation between the three on the Rhodes piano. So that is our look at the Fat Channel XD by Presonus and the 1176 plug-in emulation compared to Universal Audio and Waves. Which one was better? Which one did you like better than other? They all sound great. They all sound similar. They should sound similar. And once again, I'll say that I tip my hat to Presonus for diving into these analog plug-in emulations. This is the first DAW company that's really has done it in this way with their state space modeling. It has really tried to recreate this and make it a stock plugin that you don't have to go out and buy a Universal Audio hardware system with their plugins or any other, native plugins by Waves. You don't have to spend any more money. You buy Studio One Pro and you get this in there. I'm not familiar. I believe the Fat Channel is also a stock plugin with the artist version, but you got to double check that to be sure. I should have done my homework before I hit record on this video. I'm not sure about the artist version. I think it is. I think this is a stock plugin on the artist version as well. And it's also part of the Fat Channel on the new Studio Live Series 3 mixers, which is fantastic. So you have these same plugins, this compressor, on your Studio Live mixer if you have one, the new Series 3. So again, Presonus is knocking it out of the park. It sounds great. Leave a comment below. Let me know which one you like better. And again, if you're a Presonus user using just stock plugins, you'll be happy to know now that you have some really cool analog style plugins along with your stock plugins, all part of the stock plugin package. Go back and check out my video on the LA2. Check my video out on the Pultec EQ and see what we did there. Again, we compared them to Universal Audio and Waves as well. So again, I hope you found this video helpful. For more tips, tricks, concepts, and training, go to homerecordingmadeeasy.com. And please, once again, give me the thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and share this video with others. It really does help me out. And until the next video, this has been David with homerecordingmadeeasy.com and learningtomix.com. And I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.